So this is basically a balance between one or more sentences to make it harmonize, meaning জিনিসটাকে সুন্দরভাবে প্রেজেন্ট করা বা সুন্দরভাবে কথা বলা, right? So this is actually a stylistic technique which makes your writing and speech effective and makes you sound well spoken, right? So it makes for good writing. Parallelism is, like I said, it's a stylistic technique which helps make your writing very effective, and it definitely gives people who are listening to you speak when you use parallelism a good impression of you as an orator. An orator, which means a speaker, right? Like Obama is a good orator, he's a very good speaker, and you will see a lot of parallelism examples in his speech and that of any other speakers. So they have basically parallelism is used when you are speaking, and it is also implemented or applied when you're writing. Okay, so this is very important to know. So let's just start off with what the word parallel means. We see here parallel, right? And then right here we see a diagram. Well, not really a diagram, but you see two lines, and anyone who takes math would know what parallel means. These are basically two lines that go side by side, having the same distance continuously between them, but in essence they never meet, so they run parallel. So it's the same thing with it's kind of similar in that sense. This is a diagrammatic interpretation, just to give you a clear idea, which is why it's called parallelism, right? So parallelism or parallel structure basically means that when you're making some kind of list in a sentence, okay? So we just talked about how what parallelism in writing does, what the benefits are. এটা লেখাকে সুন্দর করে, তুমি যখন কথা বলো, it makes you sound good, it makes you sound nice, it does not sound harsh to the ears, okay? So parallel structure হচ্ছে গিয়ে basically when you're making some kind of list in a sentence, and I will give you an example of that. If you're using a series of verbs, right? For example, laughing, singing, dancing, right? Or a series of nouns, basically any series of words, they should all roughly line up, right? Like a line up. So let's go down, let's scroll down. When writing a list, every item starts with the same type of verb or noun, adjective or adverb, and I'm sure you guys know what nouns, adjectives and adverbs are. So here are some examples of sentences that implement or use parallelism, okay? So here we see a gerund. We went running, biking, swimming, and fishing. This is a sentence, right? We went running, ing running, ing biking, swimming, and fishing. It's almost like rhyming, like in poetry, kind of like that, but not really, not quite. It's just it's an analogy I'm using. So again, this makes it sound nice, right? It makes it look good on paper as well. So the next one would be ed. The words the verbs that end with the words, the letters ed. So those verbs would be we walked, ed, jumped, and skipped on the way. For nouns, we drove to the lake, mountains, desert, and beach all in one day. So you see again listing. We drove to the lake, mountains, desert, and beach all in one day. In the adjective form, you see she had purple, silver-tipped, spiky hair. So the lists sort of, I'm having trouble scrolling up here. So you see the lists sort of kind of rhyme, as I said, right? We went running, biking, swimming, fishing. We walked, jumped, skipped on the way to school. We drove to the lake, mountains, desert, and beach all in one day. So these sound nice. These sound like good proper sentences. Another one right here, we have lovingly, graciously, and generously she helped us out. Now, for example, if you were to say graciously, lovingly, and with generosity, she helped us out. Now, this would not be grammatically incorrect, but it does not sound good. Okay, so, and it does not really make for very good writing. So, for example, I will give you a better example here. So as I was saying, parallel structure is less about grammar and more about style, but it is very important to be able to both speak and write using these principles or rules in order to sound more effective. Okay? Now let's take an example of a sentence that does not follow this rule. As I said before with the graciously sentence, right here, graciously, lovingly, and being generous, she helped us out, right? It sounds a little clumsy, you know, that's the word I was looking for. So now let's look at another example, which this is an example of what we would call faulty parallelism. What does faulty mean? Faulty means jeta incorrect, jeta bhul, right? So this sentence does not have parallelism. For example, I like dancing, driving, and to swim. So again, although there's nothing grammatically incorrect about this sentence, stylistically it doesn't read well or sound right. Okay, so what would be in its place? The red highlighted portion is clearly the one which is faulty. So what could it be? I like dancing, driving, and to swim. No, it doesn't sound good, right? So we go, instead we write I like dancing, driving, and swimming. We are using the ing form of it as a noun, and we are making this consistent, right? Consistent. So this is an example of a parallel structure. Faulty parallelism, like I said before, faulty means something that is erroneous or bhul, error. So faulty parallelism in a sentence is when you're writing a list of things and mix up verb forms. So what here happened was, let's go back. So here, we kind of mixed up the verb forms, right? So form, this is a type of form, driving, dancing, it's a verb form, and we are mixing it up by saying to swim. Okay? So some more examples. Samantha likes to run, jumping around in the backyard, and playing with her friend Jorge yesterday. That's faulty. It sounds weird, right? It sounds kind of weird. Samantha likes to run, jumping around in the backyard, and playing with her friend Jorge yesterday. That sounds weird. How do we correct this? Samantha likes running and jumping around in her backyard. Semicolon. You want to include all this information, but you want to include it in a way that makes it harmonize or makes it look nice. It flows well, right? It flows well. So Samantha likes running and jumping. We want to say Samantha likes to run and jump, and she also tar friend Jorge সাথে backyard খেলছিল, right? So Samantha likes running and jumping around in her backyard. In fact, yesterday she played there with her friend Jorge, right? So this is like a Latin Hispanic name, so they say the J is silent. Okay, so that's why I keep saying it sounds like I'm going crazy, but it's actually it's not George, it's Jorge. I don't know, maybe that's how they say it. Maybe they say it in a different way, but the J is silent. So anyway, that was my video for parallelism. If you have any questions, please let me know. So again, এই জায়গাটা দেখো তোমরা faulty parallelism এ আমরা কি দেখছি, Samantha আমরা চেষ্টা করছি to tell the reader যে Samantha দৌড়াতে পছন্দ করে, she likes jumping around in the backyard, and then হঠাৎ করে এটা কোত্থেকে আসলো, and played with her friend Jorge yesterday, এটা হঠাৎ করে আসলো, right? So we say, how can we correct this? মানে we want to tell the readers this, but not in a way that makes it sound kind of jarring, kind of মানে clumsy, right? So instead আমরা ইনফরমেশনটা দেওয়ার জন্য আমরা মডিফাই করলাম বা চেঞ্জ করলাম সেন্টেন্সটা in a way যেটা নাকি ইনফরমেশনটা দিল যেটা আমরা দিতে চাচ্ছিলাম, as well as making it sound nice. Okay, so I will give you some exercises to do for you to complete for tomorrow's homework, and then we can go over it in detail some more. All right, guys, you take care. I'm kind of running out of time. As I said, I have not done this before, and so if you have any questions, let me know. All right, this is Miss Kabir, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.